So now we will be moving to the actual demo day part. So you're going to be seeing 9 startups. Each of the startups will get 5 minutes to pitch their product, pitch their company, pitch the partnership that they did, and the progress that they have achieved. And afterwards, we're going to have 2 or 3 minutes for questions. We don't have a jury, but we have experts. We don't have a jury because there's no prize. The prize is the friends you made along the way, and that's enough, okay? But, as I said, we do have 2 experts who will question you and try to poke some holes in your businesses and see how well you can deal with the pressure. Do you have a microphone there? No, you don't. We'll get you on. I will introduce you, but I would like you to say something as well. So just give us a sentence of who you are and what you do. So first off, we have Egita from Outlast Fund. Tell us what your fund does. Who do you invest in?
Hi, yes, my name is Egita. I'm from Outlast Fund. We are a very fresh new VC here in Riga in Latvia. We invest in B2B software-driven companies in Baltics, Sweden. We have 2 partners here in Riga, 2 partners in Stockholm. It can also be deep tech, but that we need to check how deep is the deep tech. So we're more on the software side. Other than that, we're happy to look at the companies. And yeah, pre-seed and seed, so very early stage. So I'll be looking forward to the presentations for today.
So you prefer shallow tech?
Yes.
Sorry. And we have Fred from Purpose Tech.
Hi everybody, Fred from Purpose Tech. We are a pre-seed fund based out of Prague, but in Czech we have more money than startups, so we are very much focusing on the Baltics. We have an investment in Estonia, in Lithuania, hopefully one in Latvia is coming up, and we invest primarily in health tech and climate tech, so of course there is a lot of connection with deep tech, so happy to be here and looking forward.
Okay, thank you. Let's give a round of applause to our experts. And with that, we can move to the first presentation. So I will announce the startup. You come here, you have a nice microphone, you have the clicker here, and once you leave, you leave. So first up, let's welcome with a round of applause Acoustic Technologies.
Now it should be working. Okay, hello and hi. I'm very happy to see you. It was a very rainy day. You could be anywhere else, but you are here. So let's make some noise for you. Let's give a round of applause for the great auditory. Which is something you shouldn't do in an office, because usually people in office prefer to work in quiet. We have a look at the data, and actually like 71% of the people who work in open space offices complain that they would like to have less noise to be more productive. And that results in loss of revenue for their employers, because we see 1 or 2 hours every day gets lost in being distracted by noise. You overhear something, someone gives an ovation, there is a colleague talking about a business opportunity, and you can't finish your report. How we answer this very simply with Helmholtz 2.0 system, which is an adaptive noise reducing panel system which we have created. This is how it works. So you might ask how a panel can help absorb sound. Here you can see the sound wave, and these are resonation chambers. Those who know science, Helmholtz is the guy who invented this kind of science for absorbing through resonation, or discovered, you know, ancient Greeks already used it, but that's how we did it. And doing it is maybe the easy part. The hard part is manufacturing it, and that's where the deep tech comes in. We basically use client-shaped data, so we take the noise measurements from the room where the people are working. We take this data and shape it into a geometry, to an algorithm that makes a pattern. So you can see here, these are the resonation chambers tailored specifically to a noise pattern. Then we input into a geometry, which gets automatically manufactured. And there is this just-in-time production system. So this shelf is hot off the manufacturing system this morning, taken off and brought here, baked specially for you. And what is our competition? You can see that currently to achieve this type of noise control, you can only see it in acoustic concert halls, because usually in offices it's just too expensive to do it. So we just, put a carpet or do something like that and hope for the best. Why it's so expensive? It's because first there is this fixed manufacturing parameters. So you kind of need to do machining and tooling to achieve these noise parameters. The next thing is that it just takes very long to do that. So it's several months. And of course, they're using 2D materials. So it's like a sandwich panel, and that adds cost, adds manufacturing, adds tooling, adds storage. And it ends up costing quite a lot, north of 1,000 euros per square meter. So our product, with the same margins or even better, we can sell it quite cheaper. But also, it's code-defined smart geometry, so it's actually better. It's manufacturable in a week. It's a 3D composite, so it has better noise properties. And best, it has this kind of resonation chamber technology, which currently in concert halls is very rare to achieve. So there's one system, but you can have thousands of variations. We have starting with 10. So these are our first 10 pilot clients where we have tested this technology. Some of the shelves we have already sold. During Confluence, we achieved great progress with the first wood-printed panels. So it was something that was very hard, because doing it with plastic is easy, doing it with wood was harder, but we manufactured to do it. We also did a great collaboration with Sia Pavasars Manufacturing, which are exporting to Sweden, and we did a collaborative project here. So basically coated the panels with their manufacturing system. So this is the team that made it happen. I'm the CTO, Matis. We have CEO Svetlana from Serbia, and Anna, who is health-oriented from Latvia. So noise is stress, and that's also health. Post-COVID, we see a lot of demand for noise solutions, because people are coming back to the office. If before they could work quietly, now they have to attend Zoom meetings, so colleagues overhear them. So we see that even doing Confluence, we consulted with Sarma Nord architects. They're saying our clients from 10, 20 years ago are coming back to us saying, hey guys, you designed a really great open office for us, but now we need some walls or noise solutions. Can you please help? And I think that was like a perfect match. So even in Latvia and Baltic states, in the next 10 years, we see above 2 billion market. So there is a lot of startup co-working, open spaces opening and being reconstructed where we can come in. And of course, if we take the whole Europe, it's north of 20 billion that is attractable. Currently, we're rising 500K with a ticket size starting from 100K. And why we do that? We can build shelves and small units. We cannot build walls. And well, I don't know, it's because of the Donald Trump or something, but the walls is something people want in the offices now. And they are being requested by Sarma Nord, Excelsior. Also, the manufacturing partners don't have that capability, and we need that to make these walls possible. Thank you. Let's give a round of applause there. Do we do questions?
Yes, we do questions. If you have questions, we probably have questions.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot for the pitch. What's your thinking on go-to-market? Because the fit-out industry is dominated by large brands, right? Which have their suppliers, and there's a lot of relationships, a lot of politics in that regard. I understand you might be cheaper. Why? Maybe like 3 times cheaper. Will this be enough? What's your experience? What's your plan?
Yeah, so basically I would say the price is kind of secondary, because if you have a large office with millions of employees, you start to think about different categories. But what we can offer is customizability and fast customizability. It's not the cost, it's the time. If you have a noise problem, you want it quickly, and want it in a place where it's happening. So we can adjust. These large manufacturers, you kind of have IKEA, but it's still limited. In our case, there's only one part. It's just the code panel that is being manufactured, but it can be tailored to any geometry. And I think we win with the customization, because in future we arrive at more products, more customization. For us, it doesn't cost extra. For any manufacturer, every time there is a retooling, new machines, etc., it's just time. We can move in a matter of days. They need to plan a years ahead, because they need to order machines from China, then they get stopped in customs, etc., etc. We partner with the manufacturers. Our biggest partner is Pavasars factory, which builds modular houses. They built one for Spotify founder recently, but they look at us and they're saying, guys, we need to partner with you. We can't adapt that quickly.
Question on top of that about the go-to-market strategy. So how are you currently trying to scale? One is, of course, manufacturing, but then it's also how do you get to the clients? Is it by countries? Is it by type of them? I don't know, concert halls, co-working spaces, everything. And
Yeah, we have our first partnership. We didn't announce it here, but we are renting 1 square meter in Finland, where one of our shelves is standing as a promotional partner. But basically how we are doing, given that we are working with code, we send the code to our partners and they can print it. So basically we generate it, but they manufacture. So basically we can almost instantly teleport the furniture. We call the IP rights here. We don't send the algorithm, but we send the code and they execute. They press print. We have also this monitoring system that ensures good quality, but otherwise it's basically teleportable. We could even start in America. We wouldn't need to ship it. We just teleport the code over there.
We can have one more.
Regarding this modularity, right, which you kind of propose as the USP, what's your insight there, right? Because as you said at the end, people want walls, right, and ceiling panels. That's kind of the tradition. And then of course you have those nice, cozy little things, right, lying around. But people want that. So what's the insight that you have based on which you believe that the modular way is the way to go?
So basically, it's even though we can teleport the code, the parts still needs to be shipped, and that's where a lot of times the cost comes or mounted. So in our case, it can be put on a wall, the panel, it can be made flat. Why we do it like this, the best effect is if it's round and if it's somewhere in the center of the room. If you can do that, you can save a lot of square meters on the wall because it just does it more effectively. We can schedule a meeting, I will tell you more. It's basically round shapes are really, really good for acoustics. So if you can, that's perfect. You have a column, just add panels there, it's mwah. So thank you. I think that's all. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. Thank you. Another round of applause to Acoustic Technologies. And next up, we have Allocate. Let's give a warm-up applause. Yes.
Hello, my name is Sejans. I'm from Allocate, and we are self-service access management platform. Here's SubRental, which is managed by this employee, but to be honest, she only works for a small part of her day. For the most part, she's waiting for the clients and doing nothing, which is wasteful usage of the workforce. Managers also understand this problem, and they're trying to replace her with this box with a code. But this is not a full solution. This does not solve the smart access, management, payments, real-time management. Managers want better solution, but the problem is that current access management platforms do not meet the needs of such self-service industries. First, there is no single vendor for complete solution. Usually have to combine 2 or more products to create such solution. Second, integration can be painful and take months. Locking hardware is also pretty bad. It usually comes from the China, and it's poor in quality and is breaking down constantly. And if you want any kind of customization, the starting cost is 15,000 euros. We solve this problem with Allocate product. We connect businesses with their clients through contactless self-service platform. We are a complete solution. We provide both hardware and software. We can create custom solutions fast using our modular approach. With easy setup, we offer API integration or no-code integration. And because we can build custom solutions fast with easy setup, we are also affordable. Our business model consists of 2 parts. First, we sell hardware, then we charge a monthly fee. We start in self-storage, rental, and retail industries. We start in European Union, and for us, this is 100 million market if for the calculations we use annual fee. After this, we're planning to move to larger industries, to B2B retail, industrial, equipment rental, and other industries. About the competition. Competition can divide in 2 parts. Some focus on the hardware development in niche markets, for example, padlocks. Second, companies create management platforms, some kind of online booking. We want to create a full ecosystem which provide both hardware and software, and our solution can be used in many industries and applied for multiple use cases. Our team is made by technical co-founders. Me and my co-founder both have 10-year experience in engineering in respective fields. We can create such a product and execute it. But we're also growing our team and looking for new team members. Before the Confluence, we didn't have a clear market vision. Together with the Confluence mentors, we understood our market positioning and product market fit, and they helped us to support and launch our pilot projects, which is smart self-storage solution. We're starting a pilot this month in Lithuania. We already tested our solution in Riga. Second, the pilot is smart locker for industrial product retail. We're also starting this month a 10-unit pilot. But we already have next projects down the line. We want to create smart locker for ski equipment and self-service boat rental application. Today, we're not asking for the money. We're planning to raise funds next year by the time our product will be finished. And we'll use this money for team growth and business scaling. But today, we're asking for pilot projects, market opportunities, and industry contacts. Thank you for listening, and if you can help us and give us feedback, let's connect. Thank you. I'll glad to answer your questions.
Thank you.
Thank you for presentation. Can you tell a little bit more about the pilot projects that you have already done? How did you, because they were a bit different. So what did you exactly do with them? What did you test? And
Okay, so our main plan is to create a smart solutions where they cannot afford this. For example, if one creates smart solutions, costs 15,000 euros. For example, for self-storage, this box rent have like these C containers in which they create these units. They cannot afford this really expensive solution. We came and we gave us our hardware to make these lockers like smart. So they are like making these self-storage smart. Second pilot is Burner. They are like selling this, like using a simple locker to sell their items, and we are like using our system. We equip it and make it also smart. So our plan is to give these solutions to these like industries where they cannot afford this real expensive solution, and we really want to create like this affordable for everyone. And we see this is the future.
yeah, just a quick follow-up, just to understand. So basically, you're coming with the software and then certain hardware for existing.
No. The hardware we are modular. We have like this control board and these like smaller modules. For example, for the Boxrun, they're interested really in the like this module and door locking and sensor reading. For the burner, they are interested in this like controller and QR code scanner and locker. So we create from these modules the solution they need. So this custom solution.
I think I will elaborate on that a little bit more or build up on that. Can you maybe explain a little bit more what's the segment that you are targeting? Is there like an ideal customer profile, and maybe what's the unique insight that you have in that segment based on which you believe that your solution is significantly more needed than the existing solutions?
Or are the customers with 100 or more units they want? These are like mid-sized businesses which have some kind of already like existing software. But we also planning to create solutions for this, starting from the one unit, also the small like companies. But this is not so like profitable for us. Also, we're planning to work with large companies, but problem with large companies is that they usually want something more custom, and we cannot like easily use a modular system. Then for additional cost, we need to think how we can like modify their system for their needs, because they usually have really specific needs. Yeah.
Can you make it a little bit more tangible? I'm maybe missing still the the essence, right? So I mean, there are smart lock solutions, right? So what makes you different? Do you have like a particular insight, particular angle on the approach?
So our approach is that everybody wants smart solutions, but they cannot afford this. That's the main problem. We are making these solutions so they can create it.
So what do you have that makes you still great and significantly times more affordable?
This is our modular approach, that we can create these custom solutions fast. Other companies, they need to go to the, for example, a custom hardware manufacturer, and it will be too expensive for them. We can create custom solutions using all pre-existing modules, both hardware and software.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you to Allocate. Next up, we have probably the most sciencey of the projects that you're gonna hear today. So this is not for Outlast Fund. Maybe, I don't know. Let's welcome AP for PIC.
Yeah. Hello, I'm Arturs, and today I will tell you about AP for PIC with our goal to create adaptable photonics for your needs. So just to tell why we are doing this. So we are trying to establish a new adaptable polymer photonic platform here in Latvia, because basically everyone in the industry has observed that like when we are substituting electronic with photonics, we get really high bandwidths, we can expand applications. one of the things everyone has experienced, optical internet. We got a lot of streaming and new advances in products based on that. But we see that there's still a lot of places where to expand, not only telecommunication and data centers, but also biomedical applications and quantum technologies, and even further. But there are some issues. For this to happen efficiently, what is already stated in Europe, we need photonics that are scalable, energo-effective and low cost, because like European Chip Act, we want to bring manufacturing here in Europe, and also energy efficiency is very, very high demand. So we want to expand the application reach of photonics. And how we're going to do it? We have a platform that, first of all, our platform differs from rest of the already available platforms in the case where we have two compound systems. That gives us kind of adaptability. You can imagine that at every point when there's a new market, we can change the active material in our platform to adapt to the market needs. We are not monolithic. We are very, very flexible, as polymers are. Also, we have 10 times better energy efficiency, so you need much, much less energy for the chips to work, 3 times lower cost. Not only for chip manufacturing, but also for establishing a fab. We really want to bring the manufacturing to Europe, and we see our platform as we don't need billions of dollars to create a fab, we need much less. And also, we are not pushing away other companies we can integrate with the already existing photonics, so we are very open to collaborations. When we look at already existing photonic platforms, there's usually two cases. You can get everything you want for photonics at a very high cost, or you can get limited applications at lower cost. We try to position ourselves as the players that can give you all the necessary functionalities at a much lower cost. And again, really focusing on the aspect that it's not only the cost of the chip, but also the scalability and the manufacturability. So currently our idea is that we want to work together with data centers and biomedical applications to, first of all, for data centers, we are focusing on optical interconnectors as the AI is really driving up the demand to expand the data centers. Basically, copper wires won't do it if we want to go even further. We need optical interconnectors. And that's where photonics, and especially low energy cost photonics, comes in. Biomedical applications, we are looking currently with the idea that we can create sensors for different kind of process and synthesis monitoring, and they will be much, much cheaper to a level where you don't need to sterilize them. You use single use, you can then throw away, so you save money and time. Also, as it's polymer based, there's a lot of options about recycling, and so we're not trying to pollute the world. When we look at the markets, we already can see that our company has a potential to go to multi-million market shares. But I would like to say that we are not, our market is not dependent only on us penetrating into these specific markets, but we can also expand the cases where we work. The goal, which we really would like to go, is that be a full foundry where companies can come to us to develop their solutions. But in our current state, to just get there, we are focusing on specific applications and developing chips for them. So we can develop chips and we can produce a platform to other companies to develop their ideas. So our team, currently we are 2 scientists coming from academia with a long history in material studies for optical and photonic applications. We have experience in photonic chip designing and fabrication, and a lot of experience in project management and team leading. But what we are still currently expanding is our looking for partners in manager and marketing and sales part, which are especially for emerging markets where we are focusing. During a bit about our progress, so we established our company at the end of 2024, and we got, as previously in panels they were talking about grants, we got our first grant to develop our technology further. So what we have currently is a platform. What we want to do is create a prototype. So during Confluence, we established a collaboration with academia to do technology development, started in a lot of incubator programs, and are now working on that. We want to develop our first demonstrator for specific applications, IP protection, and new job positions. So I am Arturs Bundels, and I'm very happy to tell you for AP for PIC, and so questions.
Thank you. So, Fred.
Thanks a lot. Maybe can you elaborate more on the technological readiness and what kind of use case are you pursuing, and what are the key challenges now in terms of like R&D and basically to get to a stage where you can test this in like real life?
Yeah, so I would say there are two parallel things for our business that we're developing. One thing is the platform, which basically is a workflow of manufacturing processes to fabricate these chips, and that is on the level of TRL4. So we have demonstrated in lab, it works. The other part is specific applications, so that's data center biomedical, where we need to create demonstrators that we can then test in pilot projects. There we are in TRL3 as we are designing them, and hopefully at the end of this year we will have a demonstrator in lab that we can start to maybe think about pilot projects to really, yeah.
So, yeah, the pilot projects by the end of the year, you said, right?
At the end of the year, we hope to have a demonstrator, and that's the point where we are currently thinking that at that moment we will start to think about the pilot projects.
What are the biggest bottlenecks like in the upcoming 2 years? Because I think it still takes a lot of time to develop to get to how Alexander said on the panel, we need to smell the money, you know? What are the biggest bottlenecks, and maybe what do you see you need in the next 2-3 years?
To be completely frank, the biggest bottleneck is manufacturing, because currently we are in collaboration with Institute of Solar FX that is renting us their equipment for manufacturing, but there's only a limited of amount of time they can, for example, give only 20% of their equipment time to us. The rest of it is for their academical research. So we have enough the time for that to develop prototypes and do some small scale pilot projects, but if we really want to go to larger scale manufacturing, we need to think about other partners that could help us with manufacturing, or what we are trying to understand how we can do is trying to get our own equipment for manufacturing and going that way. So I would say that is our main bottleneck, which we are planning how to get around.
What have you learned so far in terms of the go-to-market? So how do you envision that to look like in terms of distribution, pricing, with regards to what's out there, how the players think? Can you elaborate on the learnings, maybe, perhaps?
Yeah, as far as we have understood when interacting with European ecosystem in this question, so with these emerging markets, it feels like it's better to get into them as a group of companies together. So there's the EPIC program in Europe that is putting together like a lot of these photonic companies. We have been to their events and talked to them, and they're quite open if you can define a specific niche that you give to their whole product chain. So that's another way how we are at our current level seeing the best approach. We will define a very specific niche that we can give to the whole photonic ecosystem, and we'll try to push ourselves into the whole chain and come as a big, strong package for different applications.
Okay, thank you. This was AP Forpic. And next up, we're moving away from A, moving on to B, B-Detect. A warm-up applause.
So, thank you. My name is Ronald, and we are B-Detect. We are saving lives by making skin cancer detection more accessible and accurate. So, as you may know, skin cancer is one of the most deadliest forms of cancer worldwide. And every year, just from melanoma, more than 60,000 people die. And it's predicted that new melanoma cases will increase by 35% in the upcoming years. And it is very important to detect melanoma in a early stage, because survival rates dramatically decrease in later stages. But while the disease progresses, many people are waiting for weeks to see a specialist. And we wanted to change that. So we created a non-invasive multispectral skin cancer detection system powered with artificial intelligence. It is really easy to use. If the scan information is skin cancer, it is just highlighted bright red color. So anybody without any knowledge can use the system in a couple of seconds. So the device is very inconvenient, more than 97% accurate. It has a self-learning and self-adjusting smart diagnostics technology, which is already tested on more than 4,000 skin formations in clinics. And the market data shows that the dermatology device market size is increasing and will reach 22 billion euros in the upcoming years. So it's evident demand for technologies such as ours will continue to increase. And by implementing this technology into the market, everybody would benefit. Patients will get better health care, save their money, medical specialists would improve their diagnosis accuracy, and payers will save their research and increase revenue. At the moment, we are already finalizing our manufacturer-ready prototypes, and the next step is to certificate them. So at the moment, we are looking for an investment of €500,000, but also for test partners to introduce our product to. And our team of professionals has all the necessary skills to bring this technology to the market. So also Confluence program helped us to get here, take one step closer to our goal. So during the program, we improved our business strategy, pitch deck, worked on one-on-one sessions with the mentors. So we got valuable feedback how to improve our company and move forward. So also we are doing now a test with Semmelweis University with Norbert Kiss. We are testing our new design of the casing of our prototypes. So yeah, here's are some visuals where you can see what have we done during the program. So yeah, finally, so if you would like to help potentially save millions of people's lives, you should support us. And yeah, we will have also on the second floor a stand where you can test our device, look for yourself how it works, and yeah, maybe save some money to the dermatologist, I don't know, so you can test it. So thank you.
Thank you. Any questions, Egita?
Yeah. Can you tell a little bit more about the business model? So basically, what you're selling is the device itself, or and are you selling it to the clinics or doctors? And because I think that, and if there's also like it's just a device, or there's like service afterwards.
Yes. So yeah, our system consists of two parts, which is the device itself and the online-based system where a doctor can use the results and keep track of the progress of the skin formation if he takes multiple measurements. So we have two payment options. One is you basically pay a full price for the device and use it as much as you want. And the second form is that to make it much accessible for larger potential customers, is we have a smaller fee, which pays only basically for the device, and each time you make a scan, you pay additional fee to us. But there are additional costs in the future. For example, for the data management, if there are lots of clients, we keep the data stored in our system, and basically we can also add or remove some functionality of the device. It depends on the market customer.
Can you elaborate more on the technology? So the imaging technology that you're using, what's the scale of the data that you use to train? I also saw some numbers, there was 97, but then there was like a small bracket. I couldn't read it. It said 70 something. So can you maybe elaborate a little bit more? Because what I'm trying to understand ultimately is why cannot this be a B2C, right? Because if you're saying there's a lot of lines, then why do the doctors need it? Why cannot we make it so simple that people can buy this at their homes and use it to self-diagnose?
Yeah, they probably can buy. At the moment, the manufacturer costs maybe are a little bit higher than like just go to once to the dermatologist, let's say so. But yeah, if the patient has like a family history of skin diseases, it's for him it could be like adoption. So the technology what we are using is multispectral. So basically, there are different lenses, LEDs, that light to your skin, and we can look up to 4 millimeters deep inside. So how we trained our model, basically, first we gave our technology to like a dermatologist, which he used like a dermoscope to do an analysis. Then these two methods were compared, and then the dermatology histology was taken to validate our device, no, the technology, and that's how it was trained and evolved.
So what's the scale of the images, just from my understanding? I mean, like.
How do you mean?
So how many data? What's the size of the data set that you use to train?
Tens of thousands images.
So what's preventing this to be a B2C solution? So you can just let the doctors focus on other stuff, and people can do this at their homes.
Yeah, no, basically maybe the price. If we are producing, I don't know, thousands then of these devices, maybe yeah, the price could be as low as to make it very, very affordable. That's the idea is for the future. At the moment, we are focusing on more clinics to get the recognition, the trust to to sell it broader.
Just a quick maybe thought, not more like a question, because why I also asked about the product is, well, technically your device also collects the data, right?
Yeah.
And then the clinic can also have a history for the patient. It can also see different trends or treatments or so.
Yeah, that's definitely what we want to do also in the future. Not only to recognize skin cancer, but also other skin disease, or maybe suggest what kind of Nivea cream do you need or something like that.
Okay, thank you. This was BetaTech. Next up, we're welcoming Monta back to the stage. So let's welcome Companion. As usual, with a warm-up applause.
Thank you. Okay, so it's 2:30 a.m. in the night, and you are tossing and turning in your bed, and you can't fall asleep. There's nothing you can really do. Well, you're not alone. 1 in 3 adults experience insomnia. There are melatonin pills, but that's not the solution. And current apps, they just give you some solutions that sometimes work and sometimes don't. And also they measure how bad your sleep actually is. What users really want. So in the Companion, we try to discover what users want through Reddit posts, through different forums. They don't really want the meditation again and again. They don't want to be treated. And actually what they want, they just want to be seen. They just want to be heard. They have the emotional chaos in their mind. They want to talk it out. And they want to go back to the natural sleep. So imagine, after that really hard day of thinking about your funding or raising the funds for your startup, or does your team still likes you, you just want to get that clarity. So this is why we created Sleepify and Companion. It's a real conversation that you can have in the middle of the night, and with a soft late night radio voice. And even if you want, you can add some soft sounds to fall asleep with. If you hear now, there is a white noise kind of in the background. That's not on the purpose. That's, I think, the AC. But that's one of the sounds that people actually really fall asleep to very easily. And ultra dark mode that everyone on the Reddit list asked for. Our business model, you can get the app for a small download fee. You can pay per minute. So if you are going through some really tough times, you can get more minutes. Or if you know that this is going to be the runway, the low subscription plan for you. Program results. So we started as an AI companion for elderly people. We pivoted that with the help of our mentors, because he actually sent us to the elderly home, and we realized it's not where we want to spend the next 5 to 10 years to really build this. We pivoted the idea. We interviewed 30 plus coaches about the problems they have or their clients have. And we have the ICF Coaching Federation and MetaCoach as our partners in this program. We got a lot of insights, and also one of the insights was that they don't really have the problem we wanted to solve, but there are these side problems, these very niche problems that can be solved with this AI voice model. We created the night-friendly user experience with a dark mode where you can call, or you can also type, but we suggest calling because voice and talking out things is much more beneficial. We created TikTok accounts, websites, blogs, everything to get a little bit of traction. And we achieved more than 6K views on TikTok. 50 users tried Sleepify, which was very nice to see that they're actually trying to fall asleep with it. And next steps were gathering the feedback to see how we can improve it, and also to get the traction if people are using it again and again. Because since we asked it to try, we have people who have tried it maybe 1 to 2 times. So we want to see if we can get the traction over time. There might be it might become a sleeping aid for Alexa home users because it's voice-based. Our team, myself, Monta, I'm in marketing community and well-being for over 10 years. Martins is the CTO with 20 plus years of coding, and Guna is a research and content expert. And our next steps and our ask, so we'll listen to the early feedback, really get the users in and see what they think, improve the app, grow a community, maybe like a Sleepify club party during the day. And our ask is if you know somebody who struggles with sleep, just send them the QR code or just send them to Companon.app and let them try it, and hopefully they feel better tomorrow. Yeah, that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Monta. Fred.
Thanks, Monta. Just for me to clarify, are there people on the other side, or is it AI?
It's AI.
AI, okay.
Well, it's called Sage.
Okay.
She has a nice voice.
So from the first slide that you have shown, I mean, what do you gather from that, right? Because I think it's very hard to work with people, and I would now exaggerate and maybe be a little mean, right? That they're like, hey, I have a problem, but I don't really want to do anything about it. I want to be fixed, but not really, right? So, I mean, what have you learned so far, and how do you want to really engage those people long term, right? Because they might be the just one that complain, but maybe this is just the way they are, right? So it's very hard to work with these people. How do you reconcile it?
But I practice a lot myself. I just want to be heard. I don't need the fixing. I don't need the tip. And this is what I also found in the forums, that they don't want, this AI is more like listening and maybe reflecting back a little bit, like, hey, I understand how you feel. And then you can continue.
Do you want to be heard by a robot?
The robot voice is pretty real. And it reflects you back, and you actually... So when you use it, what people also, because I read forums daily and I engage really in this community, they're like, oh my gosh, I got heard more than my therapist. Because it just reflects back what you just said, because it's a robot, but in a nice voice. And you have the feeling like, oh my gosh, you understood me. So this is where because I was also going in like, I can throw a meditation. There are like really cool and working solutions for this sleep problem with like CBT therapy. But what I noticed was this, like, I just want to vent out. And that's what people wanted. Yeah. I hope it answers.
You have some learning, because I'm quite bullish on AI giving us advice, right? Because it knows already more.
So it doesn't.
Empathy, how do you kind of think about it?
It mirrors back. So it basically says what you just said, but it says it with a different words, and you have the feeling that it heard you. So it doesn't, because it doesn't say, oh, your sleep is really bad, like go drink a water or something. It's just like, oh, I understand how you're feeling. Like, tell me more about it. I think women get it more. The CTO doesn't get it so much as I do. But it's something like, we just want to blah, blah, blah. And fall asleep. Yeah. But yeah.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah. That's what I was thinking. Like, it just agrees with you and says, yeah, sort of.
Yeah, and especially for the sleep, you don't want an argument, right? But just, yeah.
My question is more about the go-to-market. So currently you're exploring TikTok and all the. How are you planning to scale? Let's say because it's in the B2C, it's
Yep.
all about the scale as fast as you get to the people and retain them too.
Yeah. So definitely through social media. So we're creating blogs, and what we actually found out that with the SEO for this sleep side, there's it's much more easier to get noticed by the SEO engine instead of like meditations or like melatonin pills. So that's one side with the blogs, but definitely with the social media, because if people like it, if their insomnia posts are really huge, and we created very similar to the most popular ones, so we're going with that, and then people can try the app from there. Yeah, definitely social media. Yeah.
Just a quick follow-up, because it also at some point can you also start measuring, but that's I think it's a bit more complicated to actually measure the how fast does it actually help you to fall asleep? Does it?
Yep. Definitely. That could actually be measured. We don't know if they fell asleep though. We just know when they stopped using it. Yeah. So, but you could probably like, so if somebody is using it all the time, you can go through a questionnaire or something like that, I suppose. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
This was Monta and Companion. And next up, we're talking about bees. Any birds? No, just bees. So for Queen Bee.
Raise your hands, how many of you like honey? So, okay, pretty many. Did you know that bees bring not only honey, but they are our main pollinators? And approximately 80% of the world's plants are pollinated by bees. And actually 1 out of every 3 to 4 bites of food that you are eating is thanks to the bees. But sadly, the statistics show that every year 30% of the world bees are dying because of the climate change, pesticides, different illnesses, parasites, and lack of food supply. In the end, it comes out that the bees cannot exist without beekeepers anymore. And for that, we have a solution, which is a low-cost IoT sensor device, which tracks bees in a real time with the help of data sets. So basically, you're at the home, opening your home phone application app and checking what bees are doing. And we are detecting 4 main and critical processes in the beehive, which is rapid nectar flow, signs of the queen bee absence, swarming mood determination 1 to 2 days before the event, and starvation mood detection. And here you can see the advantages for the beekeeper is lower working costs and raised productivity, like the nectar increased, might be increased by 30%. And for the bees, it's a greater chances for to survive, because we are going to take the starvation mood and the swarming, which will help to save around 30% of the bees. Here you can see a short case study how it looks in the numbers. So we have a Yuris, a beekeeper. He's not using any gadgets, and he's losing every year 5 to 7 beehives, which means around 500 euros per year. And after he's implementing the sensor device, he receives the swarming risk notification. He goes 2 to 3 days earlier before the event, avoids the swarms, and keeps the hives strong and healthy in the end. He's receiving plus 500 euros, saving them, and he has full honey yield. And here you can see our main competitors. The strongest, biggest one is Bee Hero from USA. And the difference is that they don't detect starvation, which we do. Our market, we have calculated that in 4 years' time, we could reach in Europe and in Latvia 6 million euros. And the business model is B2C. We target hobby beekeepers and commercial beekeepers. There is one-time cost for the device and installation, but annual subscription cost for the apiary. And we target the biggest countries, Poland, Germany, along with Baltics. And the progress in the Confluence program, so we have made a partnership with our first pilot customer, Purviņu medus, which we are going to continue till the end of beekeeping season. And we plan to build 30 devices to bring them to 30 pilot clients, gather feedback, and make the necessary adjustments and raise the funds. Team consists of 2 brains, so I'm the one responsible for business development, project management, and Guntis, CTO, he's prototyping the device, and he's a certified beekeeper himself. And our needs is 40,000 euros to validate the market in full potential in full time, and we are looking for pilot beekeepers. So if you're interested and you're dealing with bees, let us to know. Thank you very much for the attention.
Thank you. Egita?
I can start. Can you tell a little bit more about like the competition? So I understood that the main difference is that you detect starvation. So is it something that you have come up? Is it like, yeah, tell a little bit more about that.
Yes, we detect starvation. It is thanks to the audio classification method we are using. And this is, yeah, our main difference. But along that, there are other critical parameters, as you saw. And as well, like data set. So we gather the data set. The more data set we have, the larger our library is, the more precise we are. So these are like the main, I would say 2 even key characteristics we are having.
Can you talk more about the unit economics, both on the side of the beekeeper, right? You said it's they earn like 500 more, right? So it's like $40 per month they have to pay for your device, right? And then also on your end, there is production cost, right? There is acquisition cost. In my mind, it just feels a little tight, but you know, happy to hear your thinking on how this makes economical sense.
You're concerned about the cost of the device. Your question is
so the cost versus benefit for the customer, and also the unit economics on your end.
So that we're researching at the moment, how much it would cost, what's the best price, what is the market, as you saw, how big is the market. So that is our main concern. What is the market, how much it's going to cost, and so yeah, it needs some time to test, but yeah, it's hard to say about the revenues and about the costs at the moment, because just now we have the contract with first pilot customer, so we need to still research and scale it. Any other questions?
No, no more questions. Okay. Thank you. Next up, we have InnovaMotion. Romuald is already almost on the stage. So,
hi, everybody. Hi. How many of us has ever been at a physiotherapist? Raise your hands up. As I see, almost everyone. So we know how rehabilitation works. We come to the physiotherapist and they tell us what to do. At best, they even watch to make sure that we are doing it correctly. And then they send us at home to continue on our own. But nobody checked the correctness, and we don't truly understand how to make exercise properly, because we cannot remember everything. It's impossible. And how we track our progress? Can we see any results after each session? No. I'm Romuald from